Personally, I've always enjoyed my talks with Cardinal Gibbons. Or have I met him yet?
No, dear, not yet. Are the biscuits good?
The bully.
Won't you have another biscuit, Dr. Harper?
No, thank you. I'm afraid I have no appetite for dinner now. I always eat too many biscuits just to taste that lovely jam.
Oh, but you haven't tried the cream. We also do an accident to take it part of that.
No, thank you.
We'll send you over a jar.
No, you keep it here, so I can be sure of having your lovely biscuits with it.
I do hope they don't make us use this imitation flour again. I mean, with this war trouble and all, it may not seem very charitable of me, but I've almost come to the conclusion that this Mr. Hitler isn't a Christian.
If only Europe were on another planet.
Europe, sir.
Yes, Teddy.
Point your gun the other way.
Gun?
To the west. There's your danger. There's your enemy. The pack.
Why, yes. Yes, of course.
Teddy?
No, Aunt Abby. Let's talk about the war and more about the canal.
Well, let's not talk about war. Won't you have another cup of tea, dear?
No, thank you, Aunt Abby.
Dr. Harper?
No, thank you. I must say that war and violence seem far removed from these surroundings.
It is peaceful here, isn't it?
Yes, peaceful. The virtues of another day. The virtues that went out with candlelight, good manners, and low taxes.
This is one of the oldest houses in Brooklyn. It's just as it was when Grandfather Brewster built it and furnished it. All except for the electricity, of course, which we used as little as possible. It was Mortimer who actually persuaded us to put it in.
Yes, I can understand that. Your nephew Mortimer seems to live only by electric light.
The poor boy has to work so late. I understand he's taking Elaine with him again to the theater tonight. Teddy, your brother Mortimer will be here later.
Delighted.
We're so glad it's Elaine Mortimer takes to the theater with him.
Well, it's a new experience for me. Waiting up until 3 o'clock in the morning for my daughter to be brought home.
Oh, Dr. Harper, I hope you don't disapprove of Mortimer.
Well...
Oh, we'd feel so guilty if you did. Sister Martha and I mean, since it was here in our home that your daughter met Mortimer.
Of course, Miss Abby. And I'll say immediately that I believe Mortimer himself to be quite a worthy gentleman. But I must also say that I have watched a growing intimacy between him and my daughter with some trepidation. For one reason, Miss Abby.
You mean his stomach, Dr. Harper?
Stomach?
His dyspepsia. He's bothered with it so, poor boy.
No. I'm talking of your nephew's unfortunate connection to the theater.
The theater? Oh, no, Dr. Harper. Mortimer writes for a New York newspaper.
I know, Miss Abby. I know. But a dramatic critic is constantly exposed to theater. And I have no doubt that some of them grow an interest in it.
Well, not Mortimer. You need have no fear of that. Why, Mortimer hates the theater.
Really?
Oh, yes. He writes awful things about it. But you can't blame him, poor boy. He was so happy writing about real estate, which he really knew something about. And then they just made him take this terrible night position.
My.
But as he says, the theater can't last much longer anyway. And in the meantime, keep a living. Yes, I think if we get a theater another year or two, perhaps. Oh, well now, who do you suppose that could be? Oh, no thank you, Teddy. I'll get it. Oh, come in, Mr. Brophy.
Hello, Miss Brewster.
How are you, Mr. Klein?
Very well, Miss Brewster. Well, gentlemen, what news have you brought me?
Colonel, we've nothing to report.
Splendid. Thank you, gentlemen. At ease.
You knew Dr. Harper?
Oh, sure. Hello, Dr. Harper. We've come for the toys for the Christmas fund.
Oh, yes.
That's plenty of work you men do. Fixing up discarded toys to give the poor children, and a happier Christmas.
Well, it gives us something to do when we have to sit around the station. You get tired of playing cards, and then you start cleaning your gun. And the first thing you know, you shot yourself in the foot.
Teddy, go upstairs and get that big box from your Aunt Martha's room. How is Mrs. Brophy today? Mrs. Brophy has been quite ill, Dr. Harper.
Pneumonia.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, she's better now. A little weak still.
I'll get you some beef broth to take to her.
Don't bother, Miss Abby. You've done so much for her already.
We made it this morning. Sister Martha is taking some to poor Mr. Benitsky right now. I won't be a minute. Just sit down and make yourselves comfortable.
You shouldn't go to all that trouble.
Listen, try to stop her or your sister from doing anything nice. And for nothing. They don't even care how you vote.
When I got my call to Brooklyn and moved next door, my wife wasn't around. Once she died, and for months before, well, if I know what pure kindness and absolute generosity are, it's because I've known the Brewster sisters.
Colonel, you promised not to do that.
But I have to call cabinet meeting to get release of those supplies.
He used to do that in the middle of the night. The neighbors raised Cain with us. They're a little afraid of him anyway.
Always quite harmless.
Suppose he does think he's Teddy Roosevelt. There's a lot worse people he could think he was.
Damn shame. Nice family if they're attacking a cuckoo.
Well, his father, the old girl's brother, was some sort of genius, wasn't he? And their father, Teddy's grandfather, well, it seems to me I've heard he was a little crazy too.
Yeah, crazy like a fox. He made $1 million.
Really? Here in Brooklyn?
Yeah, patent medicine. He's kind of a quack of some sort. Old Sergeant Edwards remembers him. He used the house as a sort of clinic. Tried him out on people.
Yeah, I hear he used to make mistakes occasionally too.
The department never bothered him too much because he was pretty useful on autopsies sometimes, especially poison cases.
Well, whatever he did, he left his daughters fixed for life. Thank God for that.
Not that they spend any of it on themselves.
Yes, I'm well aware of the charity.
You don't know a tenth of it. When I was working with the Missing Persons Bureau, trying to trace an old man I never did find. But do you know that there's a renting agency that has his place down for a list of furnished rooms? They don't rent them. We can bet that anyone who comes here looking for a room goes away with a good meal and probably a few dollars in his kit.
It's just their way of digging people up to do some good to.
Oh, well, now, isn't this nice?
Hello, Mr. Brewster.
How do you do, Mr. Volpe? Dr. Harper, Mr. Klein.
How are you, Miss Brewster? We just dropped by to pick up the Christmas toys.
Oh, yes, Teddy's Army and Navy. They were out. They're all packed.
The colonel's after them. It seems the cabinet has to okay it.
Oh, yes, of course. I hope Mrs. Brophy is feeling better.
She's doing fine, ma'am. Your sister's getting me some soup to take to her.
Oh, yes, we made some this morning. I just took it to a poor man who broke ever so many bones. Oh, no, that's Martha. How is Mr. Bennett?
Well, dear, it's very serious, I'm afraid. The doctor is there, and they're going to amputate in the morning.
Can we be present?
No. I asked him, but he says it's against the rules of the hospital.
You couldn't be of any service, and you must bear yourself comfortable.
Here's the broth, Mr. Brophy. Be sure it's good enough.
Yes, ma'am.
This is fine. It'll make a lot of kids happy. Well, that O'Malley boy's nuts about these toy soldiers.
Yes, that's General Miles. I've retired of him. What's this? The Oregon.
Oh, Teddy, dear, put it back.
But the Oregon goes to Australia.
Teddy.
No, Aunt Abby, I've given my word to fight him out of Evans.
But Teddy.
What's the difference what kid gets it? Bobby Evans, Izzy Cohen. We'll just be running along now, man. Thank you very much.
Not at all. Oh, goodbye.
I must be getting home.
Oh, before you go, Dr. Harper.
Charge! The blockhouse!
The blockhouse.
The stairs are always San Juan Hill.
Have you ever tried persuading him that he wasn't Teddy Roosevelt?
Oh, no.
Oh, but he's so happy being Teddy Roosevelt.
Yes. Once, a long time ago, remember, Martha? We thought we could try to convince him that he was George Washington, that it might change him.
But he just stayed under his bed for days, and he wouldn't see anybody.
And we'd much rather him being Mr. Roosevelt than nobody.
Well, if he's happy, and what's more important, you're happy, you'll see what his signs see.
What are they?
Dr. Harper has arranged for Teddy to go to Happydale Sanitarium after we pass on.
But why should Teddy sign any papers now?
It's better to have it all settled. If the Lord should take you away suddenly, perhaps you couldn't persuade Teddy to come along with us. Mr. Witherspoon understands that to be filed away until the time comes to use them.
Mr. Witherspoon, well, who is he?
He's superintendent at Happydale.
Dr. Harper has arranged for Mr. Witherspoon to stop by tomorrow or the next day to meet Teddy.
I must be running along, or Elaine will be over here with me.
Oh, send our love to Elaine. Oh, and Dr. Harper, please don't think harshly of Mortimer just because he's a dramatic critic. Somebody has to do those things. rather late? Yes, and dinner's going to be late, too. Why? Oh, Teddy, good news. You're going to Panama to dig another lot for the canal.
Fully, that's just fully. I shall prepare at once for the journey.
Oh, Abby, while I was out? Yes, dear, I just couldn't wait for you. I didn't know when you would be home, and Dr. Harper was coming. But all by yourself? I got along fine. Well, I must go right downstairs and see. Oh, no, dear, there wasn't any time, and I was all alone. Well, then, Martha, come have a look in the window. It's Elaine. Oh, it's Elaine. Oh, come in, dear. Good afternoon, Miss Abby. Good afternoon, Miss Martha. Oh, I thought Father was here. He just this minute left. Didn't you meet him?
Oh no, I took the shortcut to the cemetery. Mortimer hasn't come yet?
No, dear, not yet.
No, I was supposed to meet him here. Do you mind if I wait?
Oh, not at all. Why don't you sit down, dear? But we really must speak to Mortimer about his doing this to you.
Doing what?
Well, he was brought up to know much better. When a gentleman is taking a young lady out, he should call for her at her house.
Oh, well, there's something about calling for a girl at a parsonage that discourages any man who doesn't embroider.
No, dear, he's done this one too many times, and we must speak with him.
Oh, please don't. After young men whose idea of nightlife was to take me to prayer meetings, it's wonderful to go to the theater almost every night of my life.
Well, it is quite comforting for us, too, because with some of those plays that Mortimer has to see, at least he's doing it with the minister's daughter sitting next to him. Elaine, what would you think about not having tea cleared away by this time?
Oh, yes.
Oh, now don't you bother with anything in the kitchen, not until Mortimer comes back, and then I'll have to help you.
Father must have been surprised not to find me at home. I'd better run over and say goodnight to him.
Oh, it's a shame you missed him, dear.
Oh, if Mortimer comes, you tell him I'll be right back.
Hello, Elaine.
Hello, Mort.
Hello, Aunt Martha.
Oh, Abby. Abby, Mortimer's here.
Were you going somewhere?
I was just going to run over and tell Father please not to wait up for me tonight.
I didn't know that was still being done even in Brooklyn.
Oh, hello, Mortimer.
Hello, Aunt Abby.
How are you, dear?
Fine. And you look well. You haven't changed much since yesterday.
Oh, it was yesterday, wasn't it? We're seeing an awful lot of you lately. Well, come in, sit down. Have you forgotten about something that we must do in the kitchen? You know, the tea thing. Oh, yes! The tea thing! Oh, well, just sit down and make yourselves at home. Just make yourselves at home.
Well, can't you take a hint?
That was a little obvious. A lack of inventiveness, I should say.
Yes, that's exactly what you would say.
Where do you want to go for dinner?
Oh, I don't care. I'm not very hungry.
I just had breakfast. Do you mind if you wait till after the show?
Oh, that'll make it pretty late, won't it?
Not with the little stinker we're seeing tonight. From what I've heard, we'll be at Blake's by 10 o'clock.
Mortimer, you ought to be fair to these plays.
Are these plays fair to me?
I've never seen you walk out on a musical.
That musical isn't opening tonight.
Oh?
You have to know the rules. This musical, there was 4 changes of title and 3 postponements. They liked it in New Haven, but it needs a lot of work.
I was hoping it was a musical.
You have such a light mind.
Not a bit. Musicals have some kind of humanizing effect on you. After a serious play, we joined the proletariat in the subway, and I listened to a lecture on the drama. But after a musical, you take me home in a taxi and make a few passes.
Oh, that's a very natural piece of reporting.
Oh, I will admit, after the Berman play, you told me I had authentic beauty, which is a hell of a thing to say to a young girl. But it was in class for our first musical that you told me I had nice legs. And I have, too.
For a minister's daughter, you sure know a lot about life. Where'd you learn it?
The choir loft.
I'll explain that to you sometime. The close connection between eroticism and religion.
Religion never gets as high as the choir loft. Which reminds me, I'd better run over and tell Father not to wait up for me tonight.
I've never been able to rationalize it.
What?
Me falling in love with a girl from Brooklyn?
Falling in love? You're not beginning to be articulate, are you?
I've come to the conclusion that you're holding out for legalities.
I can afford to be a good girl for quite a few years yet.
I can't wait that long. Where can we marry in a hurry? Say tonight.
I'm afraid Father would insist on officiating.
Oh, God. I bet your father could even make the marriage ceremony sound pedestrian.
Are you by any chance writing a review of it?
Sorry, it's an occupational disease. I may give that play tonight a good review.
Oh, don't pretend you love me that much.
You better tell Father not to wait up for you tonight.
I think I better tell him to wait up.
I'll telephone Winchell to publish the bans.
Nevertheless.
All right. Everything formal and legal, but not later than next month.
Oh, darling. I'll talk it over with Father and set the date.
We'll have to see what's in rehearsal. There'll be a lot of other first nights in October.
Oh, hello, Mortimer.
Hello, Mr. President. How are you?
Fully, thank you.
Well, what news have you brought me? Just this. The country is squarely behind you.
Yes, I know. Isn't it splendid? Well, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Where are you off to, Teddy?
Panama! Panama's the cellar. He digs locks for the canal dock.
Oh, you're so sweet with him, and he's very fond of you.
He always has been my favorite brother.
Were there more?
Yes. There's another one. John.
I've never heard of him.
You don't want to talk about him. He lives working at a very early age. He's the kind of boy like to come home to with his teeth.
Oh, what became of him?
I don't know. I think he wanted to become a surgeon like grandfather. He looked at medical school first. I think his practice got him in trouble.
Oh, aren't you two going to be late for the theater?
We're skipping dinner. We can wait another half an hour.
Oh, well, then I'll leave you two alone. Go get her.
Your father, darling. I'm going over to talk with Father. Before I go out with you, he likes to pray over me a little.
If the fur isn't too long, I'll find to lead you beside distilled waters.
Don't worry, I'll take the shortcut through the cemetery.
Oh, Mortimer, that's the first time I heard you quote the Bible. I knew Elaine would be a good influence on you.
Oh, by the way, I'm going to marry her.
What? Oh, Mortimer! Oh, that's wonderful! Martha, come in here quick! I have the most wonderful news for you. Mortimer and Elaine are going to be married. Married? Oh, Mortimer, we always dreamed it would happen just like this. Oh, Elaine would be the happiest girl in the world.
Happy? Look at looking over those gravestones. Say, what's that?
What's what, dear?
On that statue there. That's like her early Carmina.
Oh, no, dear, that's Emily Stout, ascending to heaven.
On this side up here. It's a red-crested swallow. I've only seen one of those in my life.
Mortimer, I don't know how you could be thinking about a bird at a time like this. What with Elaine and the engagement and everything?
It's a vanishing species. Thoreau was very fond of it. By the way, I left a large envelope around here last week. Have you seen it? It was one of my chapters on my book on Thoreau.
Well, if you left it here, it must be around somewhere. When are you going to be married? What are your plans? Oh, there must be something you can tell us about Elaine.
Elaine thought it was brilliant.
What was?
My chapter on Thoreau.
Well, when Elaine comes back, I think we should have a little celebration. We must drink to your happiness. Oh, Martin, isn't there some of that Lady Baltimore cake left? Oh, yes. And I'll open a bottle of wine. Oh, if you don't happen in this room.
Now, where could I have put that?
Well, with your fiancé sitting next to you tonight, I do hope the play is something you can enjoy for once. Perhaps something romantic. What's the name of it again?
Murder Will Out.
Oh, dear.
When the curtain goes up, the first thing you'll see will be a dead body. Aunt Abby, come in here! Aunt Abby! You were going to make plans for Teddy to go to that sanitarium, Happydale.
Oh, yes. Dr. Harper stopped by and dropped off the papers for Teddy to sign. Oh, here they are.
He has to go there right away.
That's what Dr. Harper thinks. Then there won't be any legal difficulties after we pass on.
He has to go there this minute. He's down in the cellar. Get him up here right away.
Well, there's no such hurry as that, dear. No, dear. When Teddy starts working on the canals, he can't get his mind on anything else.
Right away, I tell you, right away.
Mortimer,
Well, you've got to know sometime. It might as well be now. You know how we've always kind of humored Teddy because we thought he was harmless.
Why, he is harmless.
He was harmless. That's why he has to be confined. Why he has to go to Happydale.
Why, Mortimer, how can you say such a thing? Why, you know as long as you knew we will never be separated from Teddy.
We've all got to try and keep our heads. There's something I have to tell you. Teddy's killed a man.
Oh, nonsense, dear.
There's a body in the window seat.
Yes, we know.
You know?
Of course, but it has nothing to do with Teddy.
Well, what happened to him? How did he get there?
He died.
Men don't crawl into window seats and die.
No, he died first. What was his name again? Hoskins. Adam Hoskins. That's really all I know about him. He's just a Methodist.
That's all you know about him? Well, what happened to him? How did he get there?
Mortimer, I told you. The gentleman died. Mortimer, don't be so inquisitive. The gentleman died because he drank some wine with poison in it.
How did the poison get in the wine?
Well, we put it in wine because it's less noticeable. When it's in tea, it has a distinct odor.
You put it in the wine?
Yes, and I put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat.
So you knew what you'd done. You didn't want Dr. Harper to see the body?
Oh, no, dear, not at tea. That wouldn't be very nice. Well, now, Mortimer, you know the whole thing, and just forget it. I do think Martha and I are entitled to our own little secret. Yes, and don't you tell Elaine. Oh, Abby, while I was out, I brought you on Mrs. Shelf, and although she's feeling better, she would like us to take Junior to the movies again. Well, we'll have to do it tomorrow or the next day. Yes, but I'm not letting Junior drag me into another one of those scary pictures.
Ring, ring. City desk. Hello, Al. Do you know who this is? That's right. Say Al. When I left the office, I told you where I was going, remember? Well, where did I say? Uh-huh. Well, it would take me about half an hour to get to Brooklyn. What time have you got? That's right, I must be there. And Abby and Martha, come in here! What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
What are we going to do about what, dear?
There's a body in there. I can't turn you over to the police, but what are we going to do?
Well, for one thing, dear, you can stop being so excited.
But Mr. Hotchkiss!
Hoskins, dear.
Well, whatever his name is, what are we going to do about him?
Well, I imagine Teddy's going to have to take him down to Panama. Yes.
To Panama? We cannot bury him in the cellar.
Why not? That is what we did with the others.
Others?
The other gentlemen.
When you say others, do you mean others? More than one others.
Well, yes. Now, let me see. This makes 11. Isn't it, Abby? No, dear, this makes 12. No, dear, I really think you're wrong. This is only 11. No, because I remember when Mr. Hopkins came that this would make an even dozen. But I really don't think you can count the first one. Well, I was counting the first one, so that makes 12.
Hello? Hello. Oh, hello. Al, my, it's good to hear your voice.
Yes, anyways, they're all down in the cellar.
Oh, no. Al, I'm as sober as a lark. I just called because I was feeling a little parandello. You would know. Al, look. That play tonight, I can't make it. No, Al, you're wrong. I'll tell you about it tomorrow. Well, George has to cover that play tonight. This is my department, and I'm running it. Get a hold of George. Now, let's see. Where were we? 12!
Yes, Abby thinks we ought to count the first one, so that makes 12.
All right. Who was the first one?
Mr. Midgley. He was a Baptist. Although I still think we can't claim full credit for him because he just died. Martha means without any help from us. You see, Mr. Midgley came here looking for a room. It was right after you moved to New York, and we didn't want that lovely room to go to waste, and there were so many people who needed it. And he was such a lonely old man. And all his kith and kin were dead and left him so forlorn and unhappy that we felt sorry for him. And then, when his heart attack came, he sat dead in that chair right there. Oh, remember, Martha, how peaceful he looked, how happy. We decided right then and there if we could bring any other lonely man to that same peace, we would.
So that's how this all started? That man just walking in here and dropping dead?
Well, you know, dear, it was rather like old times. Your grandfather always used to have a cadaver or two around the house. You see, in Teddy came to being in Panama, and he thought Mr. Misley was a yellow fever victim. That meant he had to be buried immediately. And that's why we told you not to worry, dear, because, you know, then what we did is we just took him down to Panama and buried him in the lock. You see, we know exactly what's to be done.
So that's how this all started.
But we just couldn't count on that happening all the time. So, do you remember all of those jars of poison that were up on your grandfather's laboratory shelf? You know your Aunt Martha's knack for mixing things. You've eaten enough of her regularly. Well, for 1 gallon of elderberry wine, I take a teaspoon of arsenic, half a teaspoon of strychnine, and just a little pinch of cyanide.
Should have quite a kick.
Oh, yes. In fact, one of our gentlemen found time to say, how delicious. Well, I'm going to get dinner started in the kitchen. Oh, I'll go in there and help you. Oh, I really wish you could stay for dinner.
I couldn't eat a thing.
Well, I feel much better now. Oh, you have to wait for Elaine, don't you? Oh, how happy you must be. Well, I'll leave you alone to your thoughts.
Ah! Oh, it's you.
Don't be cross, darling. Father could see that I was excited, and that made it hard for me to get away. But don't worry, dear. He's not going to wait up for me tonight.
Elaine, something's come up. Could you just run along home? I'll call you tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
I always call you every day or two.
But we're going to the theater tonight.
No, we're not.
Well, why not?
Elaine, just something's come up. Could you just run along?
Well, what, Mortimer? You've lost your job.
No, I haven't lost my job. I'm just not covering that play tonight. Could you just run along?
Well, I've got to know what happened. Certainly you can tell me.
No, I can't.
But if we're going to be married...
Married?
Have you forgotten that not 15 minutes ago you proposed to me?
I did? Oh, yes, I did. Well, as far as I know, that's still on. Could you just...
Listen, you can't propose to me 1 minute and then throw me out of the house the next.
Elaine, I'm not going to the house, but could you just get out of here?
Not until I've had some kind of explanation.
Elaine! Hello? Oh, hello. It's important? Can you hold on? Okay. Elaine, you're a sweet girl, and I love you. Just about right now I have some business to attend to, and I need you to run along home.
Don't try to be masterful.
When we're married, and I have things to attend to, I hope you're less tedious and uninspired.
And when we're married, if we're married, I hope I find you adequate.
Elaine! Hello? Hello? City desk? Hello? Hello?
No, dear, that's not the telephone. That's the doorbell. Oh, how do you do? Come in.
Margaret sent in a room to rent.
Oh, yes. Won't you step in?
Are you the lady of the house?
Yes. I'm Miss Brewster, and this is my sister, another Miss Brewster.
My name is Gil.
Yes, won't you sit down? We were just setting things for dinner.
Hello? Let me talk to Al again. City desk! Al! City desk!
May I see the room?
Why don't you just sit down for a minute and let's get acquainted?
That won't do much good if I don't like the room.
Is Brooklyn your home?
Haven't got a home. Live in a hotel. Don't like it.
Hello? City desk!
Well, are your family Brooklyn people?
Haven't got any family.
All alone to the world?
Yep.
Well, Martha, well, you've just come to the right house. Won't you sit down?
Hello, Al? Mort, we got cut off. Al, I can't cover the play tonight. That's all there is to it. I can't.
What church do you go to? There's an Episcopal church practically next door.
I'm Presbyterian. Used to be.
What's George doing in Bermuda? Certainly I told him he'd go to Bermuda. It's my department, isn't it? We've got to find somebody. Who else is there around the office?
Is there always this much noise?
Oh no, he doesn't live with us.
There must be somebody around the place. Look, Al, how about the office boy? You know the bright one? The one we don't like? Well, you look around. I'll hold on.
I'd really like to see the room.
It's upstairs, but why don't you sit down and have a
Never touch it.
Oh, but it's elderberry wine. We make it ourselves.
Elderberry wine, huh? Haven't tasted elderberry wine since I was a boy. Thank you.
Well, there must be some printers around. Look, Al, the fellow who sets my copy. He should know about what I'd write. His name's Joe. He's the third machine from the left. But Al, he might turn out to be another Burns Mantle.
Do you have your own elderberry bushes?
No, but the cemetery is full of them.
No, I'm not drinking, but I'm going to start now.
Do you serve meals?
We might, but why don't you see if you like our wine first? Mortimer? Mortimer? No, Mortimer. Not that.
Get out of here! Do you want to be poisoned? Do you want to be killed? Do you want to be murdered? Get out of here!
No, Mortimer, not to spoil everything.
You can't do things like that. It's not only wrong, it's against the law. People wouldn't understand. He wouldn't understand.
Abby, I don't think we should have told Mortimer.
Well, what I mean is, this is turning into a very bad habit.
Mortimer, we don't try to stop you from doing things that you like to do. I don't see why you should interfere with us.
Hello? All right, I'll see the first act and pan the hell out of it. But look, Al, you've got to do something for me. Get a hold of O'Brien, our lawyer, the head of our legal department. Have him meet me at the theater. Now, don't let me down. Okay, I'm starting now. Look, I've got to go to the theater. I can't get out of it. Before I go, will you promise me something?
We'd have to know what it was first.
I know that I love you. And I know that you love me. So I want you to just promise this one thing for me.
What is it?
Don't do anything. I mean, don't do anything. Don't let anyone in this house, and leave Mr. Hoskins right where he is.
Why?
I just need some time to think. And I have quite a lot to think about. You'll do this for me, won't you?
Well, we were planning on holding services before dinner.
Services?
Certainly. You don't think we would bury Mr. Hoskins without a full Methodist service, do you? Why, he was a Methodist.
Can't that wait till I get back?
Oh, yes, then you could join us.
Yes, yes.
Oh, Mortimer, you love the services, especially the hymns. Oh, Martha, do you remember how beautifully Mortimer used to sing in the choir before his voice changed?
So do this for me? It's a promise?
Well, I think we can do this for Mortimer, now that he's being agreeable.
I have to go to the theater. There's a man I have to see. Do you have some paper?
Oh, yes. Here's some stationery.
Will this do?
That'll be fine. I can save time if I write a review on the way.
Mortimer didn't seem quite himself today.
No, and I think
I know why. Why? Well, he was just engaged to be married. I do think that would make a man nervous. Yes, well, I'm just so happy for Mortimer and Elaine. You know, I really think Elaine must be the happiest girl in the world. And their honeymoon ought to give Mortimer a real vacation. I don't think he got much rest this summer.
Well, I do hope they don't go kiting off to China or Spain.
Oh, I could never understand why Mortimer wanted to go to some of those places.
You know, I think critiquing the theater is pretty small potatoes to Mortimer. I think he should critique something bigger. Something like the human race.
Oh, if Mortimer's coming back for the services, we'll need another hymnal. I think there must be one in my room.
You know, it's really my turn to read the services. But, well, since you were out, I think you should do it.
Oh, that's very nice of you, dear. Are you sure you want me to? It's only fair. Well, I think I'll wear my black bombazine and mother's old brooch.
Oh, I'll get it.
Oh, but we promised Mortimer we wouldn't let anybody in the house.
Okay.
Come in, Doctor. This is the home of my youth. As a boy, I couldn't wait to escape from this place. Now, I'm glad to escape back into it.
Yeah, Johnny, it's a fine hideout.
The family must still live here. There's something so unmistakably Brewster about the Brewsters. I hope there's a fatted calf awaiting the return of the prodigal.
Yeah, Johnny, I'm hungry. Look, Johnny, drinks.
As we were expected. A good omen.
What are you doing here? Who are you? You get out of here.
Why, Aunt Abby. Aunt Martha. It's Jonathan.
You get out of here. Who are you? What are you doing here?
I'm Jonathan, your nephew Jonathan.
Oh, you're not Jonathan. You look nothing like him.
But I am Jonathan. And this is Dr. Einstein.
And he's not Dr. Einstein either.
Not Dr. Albert Einstein, Dr. Herman Einstein.
Who are you? What are you doing here? You get out of here.
I see you're still wearing the lovely garnet ring Grandma Brewster bought in England. And you, Aunt Martha, still the high collar to hide the scar where Grandfather's acid burned you.
His voice is like Jonathan.
Have you been in an accident?
No. My face. Dr. Einstein is responsible for that. He's a plastic surgeon. He changes people's faces.
No. Abby, remember when we took the little Schultz boy to the movies and I was so frightened? It was that face.
Easy, Johnny, easy. Don't worry, ladies. The last 5 years, I give Johnny 3 new faces. I give him another one right away. This last face, I saw that picture too right before I operated. And I was intoxicated.
You see, Doctor? You see what you've done to me? Even my own family.
Easy, Johnny, easy. You're home in Brooklyn, in this lovely house, with the lovely aunts that you love so much. They know you, John. You know it's Jonathan. Speak to him. Tell him so.
Well, Jonathan, it's been a long time. What have you been doing all these years?
Yes. Where have you been?
Oh, England, South Africa, Australia. The last 5 years in Chicago. Dr. Einstein and I were in business there together.
Oh, we were in Chicago for the World's Fair.
Yes, we found it awfully warm.
Yeah, it got too hot for us, too.
Well, it's wonderful to be in Brooklyn again. And you, Abby, Martha, you don't look a day younger. Older, I mean. You're just as I remembered you. Sweet, charming, hospitable. And dear Teddy, did he get into politics? My younger brother, Doctor, was determined to become president.
Yes, Teddy is fine, and Mortimer as well, too.
I know about Mortimer. I've seen his picture at the head of his column. He's evidently fulfilled all promise of his early nasty nature.
We're very fond of Mortimer.
Well, Jonathan, it was nice seeing you again.
Bless you, Aunt Martha. It's good to be home again.
Well, Martha, we mustn't let what's on the stove boil over. Yes, excuse us for a minute, Jonathan, unless you have somewhere to go.
Well, Johnny, what do we do now? We got to think fast. The police, they've got pictures of that face. I got to find a place to operate on you right away. And we got to find a place for Mr. Spinalzo, too.
Don't waste any worry on that, rat.
But, Johnny, you can't leave a dead body in the rumble seat.
Forget Mr. Spinalzo.
But, Johnny, you shouldn't have killed him. He was a nice fellow. He gives us a lift, and what happened?
He said I look like Boris Karloff. That's your work, Doctor. You did that to me.
I fixed you up beautiful.
Tonight.
But, Johnny, I'm hungry. I'm tired. I'm big.
Well, Jonathan, it's very nice of you to stop by and say hello, but
Abby. I can't say that your feelings toward me come as a surprise. I've spent a great many hours regretting the many heartaches I must have given you as a boy.
Yes, you are quite a trial to us, Jonathan.
But my great disappointment is for Dr. Einstein. You see, I promised him that no matter how rushed we were in passing through Brooklyn, I'd take the time to bring him here for one of Aunt Martha's home-cooked dinners.
Oh, I'm sorry, there's not going to be enough.
Well, Abby, it's a pretty good sized pot roast.
Hot roast.
Well, I think the least we can do is maybe...
Thank you, Aunt Martha. We'll stay to dinner.
Well, we best get things started in the kitchen. Yes. Jonathan, if you want to freshen up, you can use the washroom in Grandfather's laboratory.
Is that still there?
Oh, yes, just as soon as it. Well, I better get things started in the kitchen since we're all in a hurry.
Well, we get the meal anyway.
Grandfather's laboratory. And just as it was, Doctor. A perfect operating room.
Too bad we can't use it.
After you've finished with me, why, we can make a fortune here. The laboratory, that large ward in the attic. 10 beds, Doctor. And Brooklyn is crying for your talents.
Why work yourself up? And for Brooklyn, I think you're a year too late.
You don't know this town, Doctor. Practically everybody in Brooklyn needs a new face.
But when so many of the old faces are locked up?
A very small percentage. And the boys in Brooklyn are famous for paying generously to stay out of jail.
But Johnny, your aunts, they don't want us here.
We're here for dinner, aren't we?
And after that?
Leave it to me, Doctor. I'll handle it. Why, this house will be our headquarters for years.
Oh, that would be so nice. This lovely house, those lovely aunts of yours. I love them already. I go get the bag, yeah.
Doctor, we must wait until we're invited.
But you just said.
We'll be invited.
And if they say no?
Doctor, two helpless old women.
Oh, Johnny, it's like comes true, a beautiful dream. Only I hope you're not dreaming. It's so peaceful.
That's why this house is so perfect for us. It's so peaceful.
Disgusting that is. We need a bottle. I want the one for the Dave McCarthy drink. The one I'm drinking in the morning. I want some. It's good.
religious and happiest of my life.
And from Chicago, we got to South Bend, Indiana.
They wouldn't be interested in our experience in Indiana.
Well, Jonathan, I'm sure you have a very interesting life, but we really shouldn't have let you talk so late.
My meeting Dr. Einstein in London, I might say, changed the whole course of my life. Remember when I visited South Africa, the diamond business, and at Amsterdam, the diamond market. I wanted to go back to South Africa, and Dr. Einstein made it possible for me.
A good job, Johnny. Then we take off the bandages. His face looks so different. The nurse had to introduce me.
I love that face. I still carry the picture with me.
This looks like more the way you used to look, but I still wouldn't know you.
I think we'll go back to that face, Doctor.
Yeah, it's safe now.
Well, Jonathan, I'm sure you want to get to where you're going. Go on hotel, perhaps.
My dear aunt, why I'm so full of that delicious dinner, I'm unable to move a muscle.
Yeah, it's nice here.
After all, it's getting very late.
I found it! I found it!
What did you find, Teddy?
My biography, the story of my life. Here you are, Doctor. There's the picture I was telling you about. See? President Roosevelt and General Goethals are Colubricus. That's me, General, and that's you.
My, how I've changed.
Well, you see, that picture has been taking us. We haven't even begun work on Colubricus. We're still digging the lots. And now, General, we should go down to Panama together.
No, Teddy. Not Panama.
We go to Panama some other time. It's a long way off.
Nonsense. It's just in the cellar.
The cellar.
We let him dig the Panama Canal in the cellar.
General Goethals, as President of the United States of America, Commander-in-Chief of the Army and the Navy, and the man who gave you this job, I demand that you accompany me down to Panama this instant.
Teddy, I think it's time you went to bed.
I beg your pardon. Just who are you?
I'm Woodrow Wilson. Go to bed.
No, you're not Wilson. But your face is familiar. Yes, you look like someone I know. Perhaps in my hunting trip to Africa. Yeah. If you look like someone I might meet in the jungle.
No, Teddy. This is your brother, Jonathan. He's had his face changed.
So that's it. A nature faker.
Teddy, I think you should go to bed.
General Goethals, Inspector Canal.
Mr. President, we go to Panama.
Bully! We're going together. It's down south, you know.
Well, bon voyage.
Aunt Abby, I must correct your misapprehension. You spoke of our hotel. We have no hotel. We came directly here.
Well, if you'd like, there's a nice little hotel just 3 blocks.
Why, Aunt Martha, this is my home.
Jonathan, I'm afraid we can't stay here. We need our room for our lodgers.
Are there lodgers in this house?
No, but we plan to have some.
Then my old room is still free.
Oh, but where will Dr. Einstein stay?
He'll share the room with me.
No, Jonathan, I'm afraid you can't stay here.
Dr. Einstein and I need a place to sleep. You remembered this afternoon that as a boy, I could be disagreeable. It wouldn't be very pleasant for any of us if I were...
But maybe we should let them stay. Just for tonight. Yes, just for tonight.
That's settled. Now, if you'll get my room ready.
It only needs airing out. Yes, we keep it ready to show our lodgers. I think you and Dr. Einstein will find it comfortable.
You have a very distinguished guest in Dr. Einstein. I'm afraid you don't appreciate his skill, but you will. In a few weeks, you'll see me looking like a very different Jonathan.
He can't operate on you here.
When Dr. Einstein and I get organized, when we resume practice. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Dr. Einstein and I are turning Grandfather's laboratory into an operating room. We expect to be quite busy.
Jonathan, I will not let you turn this house into a hospital.
A hospital? Heavens no. It will be a beauty parlor.
Hey, Johnny! Down in the cellar.
Dr. Einstein, my dear aunts have just invited us to live with them.
Oh, you fixed it?
Yes, just for tonight.
Please get our room ready immediately.
Hey, Johnny, when I go down in the cellar, what do you think I find?
What?
The Panama Canal.
The Panama Canal.
No. It's a whole teddy dog. It's 6 feet long and 4 feet wide. It just fits Mr. Spinoza.
Down there?
You'd think they knew we were bringing him. That's what I call hospitality.
Rather a good joke to play on my aunts. They're living in a house with a body buried in the cellar.
But how do we get him in?
Yes, we can't just walk him through the door. We'll bring the car up between the house and the cemetery. And after they've gone to bed, we'll bring Mr. Spinoza in through the window.
Bad, just think. We haven't had a bed for 48 hours.
Easy, Doctor. You're operating tomorrow, and this time you'd better be sober.
I fix you beautiful.
And if you don't...
Jonathan, your room is ready.
then you can go to bed. We're moving the car up behind the house.
It's all right where it is until the morning.
I don't want to leave from the street. That might be against the law.
Abby, what are we going to do? Well, for one thing, they can't stay in this house another night. What was this neighbor thing? People coming in with one face and leaving with another. Well, Abby, what are we going to do about Mr. Hoskins? Oh, Mr. Hoskins. Oh, it can't be very comfortable for him in there. Abby, I will not invite Jonathan to the funeral services. No, we should have Teddy take him down to Panama right away. Oh, yes.
General Gothos was very pleased. He says the canal was just the right size.
Teddy, there's been another yellow fever victim.
Dear me. This will be a shock to the general.
Then we mustn't tell him about it.
But it's his department.
No, it would just spoil his visit.
I'm sorry, Aunt Abby, it's out of my hands. Army regulations, you know.
Oh, no, we must keep it a secret. Yes.
A state secret?
Yes, a state secret. Promise?
You have the word of the President of the United States of America. Cross my heart all tight. Now then, just how are we going to keep this a secret?
Well, you go back down to Panama, and when I turn out the lights, when it's all dark, you take the poor man down to the cellar. Yes, and then we'll come down later and have services.
You may announce the President will say a few words? Where's the poor devil?
In the window seat.
Seems to be spreading. Never had yellow fever in there before.
Well, that's a relief. Yes. Oh, when Jonathan and Dr. Einstein get back, I think we should have them go to bed immediately. Yes, and by the time they're asleep, we'll be dressed and ready to have services. Abby, I don't believe I've ever even seen Mr. Hoskins. Oh, that's right, you were out. Well, just come over to the scene. He's really quite good. He didn't.
We're bringing the luggage through here.
But Jonathan, your room is ready. I'm sure you must be very tired. You should go right out.
I'm afraid we we say go to bed? The instrument can go to the laboratory in the morning. Now then, we're all going to bed.
I'll get the lights.
Another flight, Doctor. Run along, Aunt Martha. All right, Aunt Abby.
I'll be up in a minute.
Now, Aunt Abby, turn out the lights.
Okay, we have to stop, or we're going to have actors hurting themselves.
Yeah, there's
Lights?
no lights in the cellar either.
Yes. Okay, that's why we're stopping. What is the big light over there? Is that television by chance, or what? Mel Saban? No. What's off right? What's the big light off stage right? All right, we're going to cover the door. Wait, where did that go now? That can't be the door.
Which door is that?
Are you talking about the stage door? No, the door, like the house.
Set door. Here.
The set door, right. Okay, that's supposed to be blue.
Can you leave the door?
Somebody has plugged the blue. Turn the light back on again for a second.
Somebody must unplug the blue.
Didn't we have blue there for the last scene? Yeah, we have blue for the stage. Did we have blue?
Yeah, I did. But apparently the fuse instead of putting it back.
All right, and we're supposed to have blue on the outside windows. We're supposed to have
Okay,
blue
Mike?
hallway light.
Yeah?
There's a problem. Beginning of the act, this was yellow, and just now it became. I switched in between, so it would be blue
I know
again.
there's supposed to be a blue light there, and there is, but I think it. either
Something in the
goes
cue
down-
you have them mixed up.
What?
Something in the cue you have them mixed up.
No, Danny, I know which channel it is. The blue light is not working at the moment. Well, what happened to all the blue light on stage? During this cue, where's all the blue light on stage?
I don't know.
I didn't touch this cue.
Please stop the tape.
Stop the what?
Tape. Yeah. Can you back it off? Stay in there.
You're dead.
And his shoe came off. Johnny, there's somebody at the door. Go quick. No, I manage here. Go quick.
Miss Abby. Miss Martha. Miss Abby. Miss Martha. Who is it?
Is that you, Teddy? Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Elaine Harper. I live next door.
Then what are you doing here?
I came over to see Miss Abby and Miss Martha.
Turn on the lights, Doctor. You chose a rather untimely moment for a social call.
I think you better explain what you're doing here.
We happen to live here.
You don't live here. I'm in this house every day, and I've never seen you before. Where are Miss Abby and Miss Martha? What have you done to them?
Perhaps we better introduce ourselves. This is Dr. Einstein,
Dr. Einstein.
a surgeon of great distinction, and something of a magician.
And I suppose you're going to tell me you're Boris Karloff.
I'm Jonathan Brewster.
Oh, you're Jonathan.
I see you've heard of me.
Yes, this afternoon for the first time.
And what did they say about me?
Just that there was another brother named Jonathan. That's how. Well, that explains everything. Now that I know who you are, I'll just be running along. If you'll kindly unlock the door.
That explains everything. Just what did you mean by that? Why did you come here at this time of night?
I thought I saw someone crawling around the house. I suppose it was you.
You thought you saw someone prowling around the house?
Yes, weren't you outside? Was that your car?
You saw someone at the car?
Yes,
What else did you see?
just someone crawling around the house to the car. That's all.
What else did you see?
Just that, that's all. That's why I came over here. I want to tell Miss Abby and Miss Martha to call the police, but if it was you and that's your car, I don't need to bother Miss Abby. I'll just be running along.
What was the man doing at the car?
I don't know. You see, I was on my way over here and
I think you're lying.
No, Johnny, I think she tells the truth. We let her go now, yeah?
I think she's lying. Breaking into a house at this time of night? I think she's dangerous. She shouldn't be allowed around loose.
You're off me. Oh.
Going to be a private funeral.
Teddy, tell these men who I am. Teddy.
Oh, that's my daughter.
No. No.
Teddy,
no.
Doctor, your handkerchief. The cellar.
What's going on down there? What's the matter? What's going on down there?
We've caught a burglar, a sneak thief. Go back to your room.
We'll call the police.
We've called the police. We'll handle this. Go back to your room, do you hear me?
The Nora-based theater. I should have known better. Oh my God, I'm still there.
Mortimer, this is your brother, Jonathan.
I know this isn't a nightmare, but what is it?
I've come back home, Mortimer.
Who did you say this was?
Your brother, Jonathan. He's had his face changed.
Jonathan, you always were a horror, but do you have to look like one?
Easy, Johnny, easy.
Mortimer, do you remember the things I used to do to you when we were boys? Remember the time I tied you to the bedpost? The needles under your fingernails?
Oh my God, it is Jonathan. Yes, I remember. I remember his most detestable, vicious, venomous form of animal life I ever knew.
Now, don't you boys start fighting with each other the minute you see one another.
There'll be no fight. Jonathan, you're not wanted here. Get out.
Dr. Einstein and I have been invited to stay.
Not in this house.
Well, we did invite them to stay, and it really wouldn't be very nice to go back on our word.
All right. Tonight, But first thing in the morning, out. Where are they sleeping?
In Jonathan's old room.
That's my old room. I'm staying tonight.
Oh, Mortimer, I'm very glad.
It's okay, Johnny. We sleep down here tonight.
You bet your life you will.
You can sleep on the sofa, and I'll sleep on the window seat.
The window seat? Let's not argue about it. The window seat's fine for me. I can sleep on the window seat.
You know, Johnny, all this argument, it makes me think of Mr. Spinozzo.
Spinozzo! Well now, Mortimer, it really isn't necessary for us to inconvenience you like this. We'll sleep down here.
Some consideration for me is very unconvincing.
Come on, Johnny. We go pack our bags, yeah?
By the way, Doctor, I've completely lost track of Mr. Spinozzo.
Who is this Mr. Spinozzo?
It's a friend of ours Johnny's been looking for.
Don't bring anyone else in here.
Come on, Johnny. When we pack our bags, I tell you all about it.
Mortimer, you don't have to sleep down here. I'll go in with Martha, and you can take my room.
No trouble at all, Aunt Abby. We'll be packed in a few minutes. Then you can have the room, Mortimer.
Jonathan, you're wasting your time. I told you I'm sleeping down here.
Mortimer, I've almost been killed.
You've almost been... Abby, Martha.
No, it was Jonathan. He mistook her for a sneak thief.
No, it was more than that. Mortimer, he's some kind of maniac. I'm afraid of him.
Darling, you're trembling. Do you have some smelling salts?
Oh, no, but you think maybe some tea or coffee?
Coffee. And make some for me too. And some sandwiches. I haven't had anything to eat all night.
Yes, we'll get something for the both of you.
Martha, we can leave our hats down here now.
Were you going somewhere? You know what time it is? It's after 12. 12! Elaine, you've got to run home.
What?
Why, you wanted some sandwiches for me both.
Yes, Mortimer. Don't you remember you wanted to celebrate your engagement?
Yes, that's what we'll do. We'll make some sandwiches, and we'll have a nice dinner for the both of you.
Yes, Mortimer.
And I'll open a bottle of wine.
All right. No wine!
Mortimer, what's going on in this house?
What do you mean, what's going on in this house?
Well, we were supposed to go to dinner in the theater tonight, and you called it off. You asked me to marry you, and I said I would, and then 5 minutes later you throw me out of the house. And then tonight, after your brother tries to strangle me, you want to chase me home? Now, before I go home, I want to know where I stand. Do you love me?
I love you very much, Elaine. I love you so much, in fact, that I can't marry you.
Have you suddenly gone insane?
No, it's just a matter of time, though. You see, insanity runs in my family. It's practically Dallas. There's a strange taint in the Brewster blood. It goes way back. To the first Brewsters who came over on the Mayflower. You see, in those days, the Indians used to scout the settlers. He used to scout the Indians.
But Mortimer, that's ancient history.
And then there's grandfather. He tried his patent medicines on dead people to see if he wouldn't kill them.
He wasn't so crazy. He made $1 million.
And then there's Jonathan. You just said Jonathan was a maniac.
But he's your brother, not you. I'm in love with you.
And there's Teddy. You know Teddy. He thinks he's Roosevelt. No, dear. No Brewster should marry. In fact, if I'd met my father in time, I would have stopped him.
Darling, all this doesn't prove you're crazy. Look at your aunts. They're Brewsters, aren't they? And they are the sanest, sweetest people I've ever known.
Well, even they have their oddities.
Yeah, but what lovely oddities. Kindness, generosity, human sympathy.
There's another one!
Of course, there are plenty of others, Mortimer. You couldn't tell me anything about your aunt.
And I'm not going to. Elaine, something's just come up. Would you run along home?
Well, at least walk me home, won't you? I'm afraid.
Afraid of a little walk to the cemetery?
Mortimer, will you kiss me goodnight?
Of course. Elaine!
You critic?
Elaine! And Abby and Martha, come in here. Come in here now.
Yes, dear, what is it? Where's Elaine?
I thought I told you not to let anyone else in this house while I was gone.
Oh, well, Jonathan.
I don't mean Jonathan.
Oh, well, Dr.
I don't mean Dr. Einstein either. Who is this in the window seat?
Mr. Hoskins.
This is not Mr. Hoskins.
Oh, dear. Well, now, Mr. Daffy.
Are you telling me you've never seen this man before?
I most certainly am. I just step on how you do. It's getting to be so that anyone thinks he can just waltz into this house.
You admit you put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat.
Yes, I did. And if that man thinks that he came here to be put in our family, he's sorry in his face.
He couldn't have just gotten the idea from Mr. Hoskins. By the way, where is Mr. Hoskins?
He must have gone to Panama.
So you buried him.
Oh, no, dear, not yet. He's just downstairs waiting for the services. Well, we haven't had much time. What with Jonathan in the house and everything. Oh, dear. We've always wanted to have him at a funeral. But I will not be the services for a total stranger.
A stranger? How can I believe you? There are 12 graves down there.
Yes, there are.
You admit you poisoned them.
Yes, I did. But do you think I would stoop as low as the tone of this? Martha!
Oh, Mortimer, I'd like to have a word with you.
A word's about all you have time for, Jonathan. I've decided that you and your doctor friend have to leave this place as soon as possible.
I'm glad you recognize the fact that you and I can't live under the same roof. But you've arrived at the wrong solution. Take your suitcase and get out.
You've played your one-night stand in Brooklyn. Now move on.
My dear Mortimer, just because you've graduated from the back fence to the typewriter, don't think you've grown up. I'm staying, and you're leaving. And I mean now.
If you think there's anything I'm frightened of, if you think there's anything that I fear,
I lived a very strange life, Mortimer, but it's taught me one thing, to be afraid of nothing.
Martha, just look and see what's in that window, please.
no one's ready. Jonathan! Let that Martha see what's in the window seat. I know you apologize, Daddy. Jonathan, you're a Brewster. You're my brother. I'm going to give you a chance to do away with all of the evidence. I'll have to call the police.
Don't reach for that telephone! Are you still giving me orders after seeing what's happened to Mr. Spinalzo?
Spinalzo? I knew he was a foreigner.
Remember that what happened to Mr. Spinalzo can happen to you, too.
Hello, Miss Evans. Miss Martha.
Oh, hello, Officer O'Hara. Can we help you?
Well, I saw your lights off and thought there might be sickness in the house. Oh, I see you got company. I'm sorry I disturbed you.
No, come right in, Officer O'Hara.
Yes, come in.
Do come in. I don't believe you've met our nephew, Mortimer.
Oh, pleased to meet you.
And this is our other nephew, Jonathan.
Pleased to make your acquaintance. Well, it must be nice having your nephews visiting you. Are they going to stay with you for a bit?
I'm staying. My brother Jonathan was just leaving.
Say, I've met you here before, haven't I?
No, I'm afraid Jonathan hasn't been home for years.
Your face looks familiar to me. Maybe I've seen a picture of you somewhere.
I don't think so.
You'd better hurry, Jonathan. Your things are all packed anyways, aren't they?
Well, you'll be wanting to say your goodbyes. I'll be running along.
What's the rush? Why don't you stick around until my brother leaves?
Well, I just dropped in to make sure everything was all right.
Why don't you stick around? Have a cup of coffee with me.
Oh, I forgot the coffee. Yes, and I'll make some sandwiches. I actually know your appetite by this time, Officer.
Don't bother. I'm going to be leaving in 2 minutes. Sit down, Officer O'Hara.
Say, ain't I seen a photograph of your brother around here someplace?
I don't think so.
Well, he certainly reminds me of somebody.
Maybe he looks like someone we've seen in the movies.
I never go to the movies. I hate them. My mother says the movie is a bastard art.
Yes, it's full of them. Your mother said that.
Yeah, my mother was an actress. A stage actress. Perhaps you heard of her. Peaches Latour.
It sounds like a name I've heard on a program somewhere. What'd she play?
Well, her big hit was Martin Jack. I played it for 3 years. I was born on tour the 3rd season.
You were?
Yep. Sioux City, Iowa. I was born in the dressing room at the end of the 2nd act. And mother made the finale.
What a trooper. I bet there's a good story in your mother.
You know, I write for the paper. You do? Say, you're on board with Rooster, the rheumatic critic.
Yes.
Well, I certainly am glad to meet you, Mr. Rooster. Say, we're in the same line of business.
We are?
Yeah. I'm a playwright. Oh, this being on the police force is just temporary.
How long have you been on the force?
12 years. I'm collecting material for a play.
I'll bet it's a honey.
Well, it's also be with all the drama I see being a cop. Mr. Rooster, you got no idea what goes on in Brooklyn.
I think I have.
Say, what time you got?
10 to 1.
Gee, I'd better ring in.
Wait a minute, O'Hara. With that play of yours, I may be able to help you. You would? Oh. Say, it was my face walking in here tonight. Look, I'll tell you the crux.
All right, O'Hara. Let's get started right now. Oh, Jonathan! You're on your way, are you? You better get going. You haven't got much time, you know.
Well, everything's just about ready. Jonathan, were you just leaving? Oh, well, goodbye. Goodbye, Dr. Einstein.
Jonathan, you can't leave without all of your things. Officer O'Hara, it was nice meeting you. Why don't you run along and ring in?
I'm not leaving now, Mr. Brewster.
You're not?
No, you just offered to help me with my play. You and me are going to write my play together.
I can't help you. I am not a creative writer.
I'll do the creating. You just put the words to it.
But O'Hara...
No, sir, Mr. Brewster. I'm not leaving this house till I tell you the plot. In that case, Mortimer, we'll be running along.
Don't try that, Jonathan. You can't leave without all of your things. Officer O'Hara, it's time for you to ring in. It was nice meeting you.
I can wait. I've been waiting 12 years.
Don't bring that in here. Officer O'Hara, why don't you do that for a bite in the kitchen?
Jonathan is leaving. Oh, that's nice. Come along, Dr. O'Hara.
Are you sure you don't mind eating in the kitchen, Dr. O'Hara? Well, goodbye, Jonathan.
Jonathan, I'm glad you came back to Brooklyn. This gives me a chance to throw you out. And the first one is your boyfriend, Mr. Spinozzo. We can talk with here. I'm coming right in.
I might have known you grew up to write a play with a policeman.
Now get going, all three of you.
Doctor, this affair between my brother and me has got to be settled.
But Johnny, your brother, he gives us a chance to get away. What more could you ask?
You don't understand. It was like a good many years.
But Johnny, there's a cop in the kitchen and Mr. Spinozzo in the window seat.
That's all he's got on us. We'll take Mr. Spinozzo down and dump him in the bay. And come right back here. Then if he tries to interfere...
Johnny!
Doctor, you know when I make up my mind.
Yeah, you lose your head. Brooklyn ain't a good place for you.
Doctor!
Okay. We got to stick together. Someday we get stuck together. If we're coming back, we got to take those with us.
No, leave them here. Hide them in the cellar. Move fast. Spinozzo can go out the same way he came in.
Hey, Johnny! You know that hole in the cellar?
Yes?
Well, we got an ace in the hole. Come on, I show you.
Jonathan! Jonathan! Jonathan!
Yes, Mortimer?
I thought I told you two to get out of here.
We're not going.
Oh, you think I'm not serious, do you? You want Officer O'Hara to know what's in that window seat?
We're staying right here.
Fine. Let's get rid of you and Officer O'Hara at the same time. Officer O'Hara, come in here.
If you tell O'Hara what's in the window seat, I'll tell him what's down in the cellar.
The cellar?
There's a very elderly gentleman down there who appears to be very dead.
What were you doing in the cellar?
What's he doing in the cellar?
Now what are you going to say to O'Hara?
You're right over here, too. So I get him out here.
No, Officer O'Hara, not right now. It's time for you to ring in.
The hell with bringing in. I'll get your ass on here and tell you the call.
Not in front of all these people. Let's go somewhere else. Where do you think we should go?
How about the back room at Phillips?
Perfect. You ring in and I'll meet you there afterwards.
All right. Why don't you two go down in the cellar?
Is this so? No, not the cellar. Officer Harry, you go to Kelly's. Bring it on the way.
All right, that will only take a couple of minutes.
I'll be back in 5 minutes. I'll ditch this guy. I expect to find you two gone. Wait for me.
We'll wait for him, Doctor. I've waited a good many years for a chance like this.
We got him right where we want him. Boy, did he look guilty.
Take our bags into our room, Doctor. Just Mortimer, and he'll be back in a few minutes. Is there any food left in the kitchen? Dr. Einstein and I would enjoy a bite.
But you won't have time. No, if you're here when Mortimer gets back, he won't like it.
Oh, he's like it. He's got it.
Please get us some food while we bury Mr. Spinalzo in the cellar.
Oh, no. No, he can't stay here. No. I'm afraid you're going to have to take him with you.
But there's a friend of Mortimer's downstairs waiting for him.
A friend of Mortimer's?
He and Mr. Spinalzo will get along quite nicely together. They're both dead.
Oh, they must mean Mr. Hoskins.
Mr. Hoskins?
You mean you know about what's down the cellar?
Why, yes.
Yes, and he's no friend of Mortimer's. He's one of our gentlemen.
Your gentleman?
But Mr. Hoskins...
Yes, Mr. Hoskins isn't a stranger, dear.
No. And besides, you can't bury him here. The cellar's crowded already.
Crowded? With what?
There are 12 graves down there now.
12 graves?
And that leaves very little room, and we are going to need it.
You mean you and Aunt Martha have murdered?
Murdered? Certainly not. It is one of our charities.
Yes, what we've been doing is a mercy.
So you can just take your Mr. Spinalzo out of here.
You mean you've done all that here in this house, and you've buried them down there?
Hey, Johnny. We get chased all over the world, and the old ladies stay here, and they do just as good as you.
What?
They've got 12, and you got 12.
I've got 13.
No, Johnny, you got 12.
13. There's Mr. Spinalzo, and the one in London. 2 in Johannesburg, 1 in Sydney, 1 in Melbourne, 2 in San Francisco, 1 in Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix?
The filling station. 3 in Chicago, and 1 in South Bend. That makes 13.
No, Johnny, the one in South Bend don't count. He died of pneumonia.
He wouldn't have gotten pneumonia if I hadn't shot him.
No, Johnny, he don't count.
He counts with me. I say 13.
No, Johnny, the old ladies are just as good as you. They've got 12, and you've got 12.
Oh, they are they? Well, that's easily taken care of. All I need now is one more, that's all. Just one more.
Well, here I am.
You kind of need some light. Thank you.
Matches.
Abby, Martha, go upstairs.
There's no use doing what you're doing because it's only going to have to be undone. I tell you, we won't have it, and you better stop it right now. All right, you'll find out. You'll find out whose house this is. I'm warning you. You had better stop it.
Hasn't Mortimer come back yet?
No.
That's a terrible thing they're doing, burying his good messages with a foreigner.
I will not have our cellar desecrated.
And we promised Mr. Hoskins a full Christian funeral. Where do you suppose Mortimer went?
I don't know. He must have went somewhere because he said to Jonathan, you just wait, I'll settle this.
Well, how can he settle it while he's out there? That's all we want settled, what's going on down there.
All right, now where's Teddy?
Mortimer, where have you been?
I've been to see Dr. Gilchrist. I have his signatures on Teddy's commitment papers.
Mortimer, what is the matter with you?
Running around getting papers signed at a time like this.
Do you know what Jonathan is doing?
He's putting Mr. Hoskins and Mr. Spinalzo in together.
Oh, he is he? Well, let him. I have to see Teddy.
But Teddy won't be any help.
If I can get Teddy's signature on these, I can make him responsible, don't you see?
No, I don't see. And besides, we pay taxes to have the police protect us.
Well, if the police came here and found 12 graves, they'd have to do something about it. They'd have to report to headquarters.
Mortimer, I don't think the police would go digging into our affairs if we asked them not to.
No.
Martha, come, let's go to the police.
I have to see Teddy. The police? You can't go for the police.
And why can't we?
Because, like I said, if the police find the 12 graves, they'd have to report.
Oh, no. I doubt they'd bother because they would have to make out a very long form, and if there's one thing a policeman hates to do, it's write.
You can't count on that. It might leak out, and you cannot expect a judge and jury to understand.
Oh, Judge Coleman would. Yes, we know him very well. He always comes to church to pray right before elections.
And he's going to come over for tea one day. He promised.
Oh, yes, we really must speak to him about that. His wife died a few years ago, and it's left him very lonely.
I have to see Teddy.
Well, Martha.
You can't go for the police. You can't leave this house, and you cannot have Judge Coleman to tea.
Well, if you're not going to do something about Mr. Spinalzo, we are.
I'm going to do something. We may have to call the police in later, but when they come, I want to be ready for them.
But you have to get Jonathan out of this house.
And Mr. Spinalzo, too.
They'll be out, I promise. Just let me handle this my own way. Now you should go to bed.
If they're not out of here by morning, Mortimer, we are going for the police.
They'll be out. Now go to bed. And for God's sake, get all those clothes. Look like three sandwiches.
Well, that's a relief.
Isn't it, Abby? Yes, if Mortimer's finally going to do something at last, that means that Jonathan is going through a lot of unnecessary trouble. We should help him. Well, Jonathan, you might as well stop what you're doing.
It's all done. Did I hear Mortimer?
Well, it's just going to have to be undone. You're all going to be out of this house by morning. Mortimer's promised.
Oh, are we? In that case, you and Aunt Martha can run along to bed and have a pleasant night's sleep.
Yes. Come, Abby.
Good night, aunties.
That's a good night, Jonathan. Goodbye. By the time we are awake, you will be out of this house. Mortimer's promised, and he has a way of doing it, too.
Then Mortimer is back.
Yes, he's in speaking with Teddy. Goodbye, Jonathan. Goodbye, Jonathan.
Perhaps you better say goodbye to Mortimer.
Oh, we'll see Mortimer.
Yes. I'll see Mortimer.
That's all good stuff. Smooth like a lick. Nobody would ever know we were down there. Come on, Johnny, let's go to bed.
You're forgetting, Doctor.
What?
My brother Mortimer.
Oh, Johnny, we do that tomorrow. Or the next day.
No! Tonight! Now!
But Johnny, I'm hungry and tired. And tomorrow I got to operate.
Yes, you're operating tomorrow, Doctor. But tonight we take care of Mortimer.
But Johnny!
Doctor? Look at me. You can see it's going to be done, can't you?
I know that look. Okay, we do it. But the quick fast, the quick twist, like a nothing.
No, Doctor. I think this calls for something special. I think perhaps the Melbourne method.
Melbourne? No, Johnny, not that. Not me. And what? When it was all over, 2 hours. The fellow in London was just as dead as the one in Melbourne.
We had to work too fast in London. There was no aesthetic satisfaction in it. But Melbourne, now there was something to remember.
Remember? I wish I didn't.
Yes, Doctor. Where are the instruments?
No, Johnny, I won't do it.
Get your instruments.
No.
Where are they? Oh, yes, you hid them in the cellar. Where?
I won't tell you.
I'll find them, Doctor.
Don't do that, Mr. President.
Perhaps Paul Kennedy is not a proclamation.
But it must be a secret proclamation.
Secret proclamation? Unusual.
Japan must know until it's signed.
Japan? Those devils? I'll sign it right away. You have no word on it. I thought the cabinet know about it later.
Yes, let's go sign it.
You wait here. A secret proclamation has to be signed in secret.
But at once, Mr. President.
I'll just put on my signing clothes.
Are you gonna,
Doctor, I'm waiting for something. Something very important.
Please, you go now.
You seem to be a fine fellow, Doctor, and I have nothing against you. So why don't you take some advice? I want you to get away from this place as soon as possible.
Yeah, I'm warning you. Get out.
Don't say I didn't warn you, Doctor.
Listen, Johnny, he's in a bad mood. When he's like this, things happen. Terrible things.
Jonathan doesn't worry me now.
I never thought those players teach you anything.
About what?
At least the people in the place act like they got some sense more than you do.
Oh, you think so, do you? You think people in plays act intelligently? I wish you had assisted from the plays that I have assisted. Take the little opus I saw tonight. In this play, there's a man. He knows he's in a house with murderers, and he knows he should be frightened. He's even been warned to get out. But does he go?
You're asking me?
No. He stays, Doctor. Let me ask you, is it something a bright man would do? The murderers even asked him to sit down.
You mean, won't you sit down?
Believe it or not, that one was in there too.
And what did he do?
He sits down. So there this man sits. The man who's supposed to be bright. Just waiting to be trussed up again. And what do you think they tie him with?
What?
The curtain cord.
Oh, the curtain cord. A good idea. Very convenient.
A little too convenient. When are playwrights going to use some imagination? The curtain cord?
You mean he didn't see him get it?
He didn't see him get it. He sat there with his back to him. Now mind you, this man is supposed to be bright. They say the critics are killing the theater. It's the playwrights who are killing the theater. So there he sits, this man who's supposed to be bright, just waiting to be trussed up and gagged. Oh.
You're right about that fella. He wasn't very smart, was he?
Now, Mortimer, if you don't mind, we'll finish the story. Mortimer, I've been away for almost 20 years, but never once in all that time, my dear brother, were you out of my mind. In Melbourne one night, I dreamed of you. When I landed in San Francisco, I felt a strange satisfaction. Once more, I was in the same country with you. Doctor. We go to work.
Okay, Johnny, but we do it for me.
Doctor, this must be really an artistic achievement. After all, we're performing before a very distinguished critic.
But Johnny...
All ready for you, Doctor.
Okay, Johnny, but first I need a drink.
Pull yourself together, Doctor.
When we came in here this afternoon, there was wine on this table. What did she do exactly? Here it is. We both need a drink. I split it with you. That's all there is.
Doctor, one moment, please. Where are your manners? Yes, Mortimer, I realize now it was you who brought me back to Brooklyn. Doctor, to my dear dead brother.
I can't!
Damn that idiot! He goes next, that's all.
No, Johnny, he don't go next. That's where I stop.
We get to Teddy later.
We don't get to tell it all.
Now we've got to work fast.
The quick way.
Yes, Doctor. The quick way.
Hey, the colonel's got to quit blowing that horn.
It's all right, officer. We're taking the bugle away from him.
There's going to be hell to pay in the morning. We promised the neighbors he wouldn't do that anymore.
I'm sorry, officer. It won't happen again. Good night.
Well, I'd better speak to him myself. Where are the lights? Hey, you stood me up. I waited an hour at Kelly's for you. What happened to him?
Oh, he was explaining the play stuff to us. That what happened to the fella in the play.
Did they have that in the play you saw tonight? Gee, they practically stole that out of the second act of my play. Right. In my second act, just before that. No, I got to begin at the beginning. That was in the dressing room where... Oh, yeah. No, you've got to hear the plot. So it opens in my mother's dressing room. Well, she's sitting there making up, see, and all of a sudden, through the door, in walks a man with a black mustache. Turns to my mother and says, Mr. Tour, will you marry me? He doesn't know she's pregnant. So there she is, lying across the table, unconscious in a lingerie. The man is standing over her with a hatchet. I'm tied up in a chair, just like you are. The place is in inferno flames. It's on fire. When all of a sudden, through the window, in comes Mary's body. Hey, remember who paid for that. Go easy on
I'm
it.
listening, ain't I?
How do you like it so far?
Well, let's put Johnny to sleep.
Leave him alone. He don't get a drink if he ain't got no more interest than that. All right. 3 days later, I've been transferred. I'm under charges. That's because somebody stole my badge. I'm walking my beat on Staten Island, 46th precinct, when the man I'm following turns out really is following me. Don't let anybody in. So I figures out smarting. There's a vacant house on the corner. I goes in.
It's cold!
I stand in front of the dark and I see the door at the turn.
Johnny, it's Colt! Colt!
I pulled my cousin, twisted myself against the wall, and said, "Come in." Hello, boys.
What the hell's going on here?
Hey, Pat, what do you know? This is Mortimer Brewster. He's going to help me write my play. I'm just telling him the story.
Did you have to tie him up to make him listen?
You better report into the station. The whole force is out looking for you.
Did they send you here for me?
We didn't know you was here.
We came to warn the old lady that there's hell to pay. The colonel blew that bugle again in the middle of the night.
The way the neighbors have been calling in about it, you think that
The Germans have dropped a bomb on Flatbush Avenue.
The lieutenant's on a warpath. He says the colonel has to be put away someplace.
Yes, yes. Gee, Mr. Brewster, I got to get away. So I'll just run through the third act quick.
Get away from me!
you know what time it is? It's almost 8 o'clock in the morning.
Jeez. Gee, Mr. Brewster, them first two acts are a little long, because I don't see anything we can leave out.
You can leave it all out!
Who the hell is this guy?
My brother.
Oh, the one that ran away? So he came back.
Yes, he came back.
This is Brophy. Get me Mac. I better let them know that we found you, Joe. Mac, tell the lieutenant he can call off the big manhunt. We got him. In the Brewster house. Did you want us to bring him? Oh, all right. We'll hold him right here. The lieutenant's on his way over.
So I've been turned in, eh? All right, you've got me. And I suppose you and that stool pigeon brother of mine will split the reward.
Reward?
Now it's my turn to do some turning in. You think those aunts of mine are sweet, charming old ladies, don't you? Well, there are 13 bodies buried in the cellar.
Teddy! Teddy!
What the hell are you talking about?
You better watch what you say about your aunts. They haven't even friends of ours.
I'll show you. I'll prove it to you. You come with me to the cellar.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
13 bodies. I'll show you where they're buried.
Oh, yeah.
You mean you don't want to see what's down in the cellar?
You better go down to the cellar with them, Abe.
I'm not so sure I want to be down there with them. Look at that puss. Looks like Boris Karloff. Hey, what the hell? Pat, get him off.
Sure, what do you think you're doing?
What do you know about that?
Come in. The hell are you men doing here? I told you I was going to handle this.
Well, sir, we was just about to...
What happened? Did he put up a fight?
This ain't the one that blows the bugle, sir. It's his brother. He tried to kill Klein.
All I said was that he looked like Karloff.
Karloff, turn him over.
You kind of think he's wanted somewhere.
Oh, you kind of think he's wanted somewhere. If you guys don't look at the circulars that we hang up in the station, at least you could read true detective stories. Of course he's wanted somewhere. In Indiana, escaped from the prison for the criminal insane. He's a lifer. For God's sakes, that's how they described him. He looked like Karloff.
Was there a reward mentioned?
Yep, and I'm claiming it.
He was trying to get us down in the cellar.
He said that there was 13 bodies buried down there.
13 bodies. And it didn't tip you off that he came out of a nut house.
I thought all along you talked kind of crazy.
Oh, and here's Shakespeare. Where have you been all night you needn't bother to tell me?
I've been right here, sir, writing a play with Mortimer Brewster.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have plenty of time to write that play. You're suspended. Now get back and report in.
Can I come over sometime and use the station typewriter?
No! Get out of here! Take that guy somewhere else and bring him too. See what you can find out about his accomplice. The guy that helped him escape, he's wanted too. No wonder Brooklyn's in the shape that it is, with the police force full of flatheads like you, falling for that kind of story. 13 bodies buried in the cellar.
Oh, but there are 13 bodies in the cellar.
Who are you?
I'm President Roosevelt.
The hell is this?
He's the one that blows the bugle.
Good morning, Colonel. Well, Colonel, you've blown your last bugle.
Dear me, another yellow fever victim?
What?
All the bodies in the cellar are yellow fever victims.
No, Colonel. This is a spy we caught in the White House.
Get that guy out of here.
If there's any questioning of spies, that's my department.
And you keep out of this.
And forgetting as president, I'm also head of the Secret Service.
Captain. I'm Mortimer Brewster.
Are you sure?
Yes. I want to talk to you about my brother, Teddy, the one who blows the bugle.
I'm sorry, Mr. Brewster, but we ain't going to talk about that. He's got to be put away.
Yes, he does. In fact, I've had it all arranged. I've had his commute papers signed by Dr. Gilchrist, our family physician. I have signed him as next of kin, and Teddy has signed him himself.
All right, well, where's he going?
Happydale.
Okay, I don't care where he goes, as long as he goes.
Oh, he's going all right. Now, I want you to know that everything that's happened around here, Teddy's responsible for. Now, those 13 bodies in the cellar...
Yeah. 13 bodies buried in the cellar. Ain't enough that the neighbors are all afraid of him. They're just disturbing the peace with that bugle. Can you imagine what would happen if that cockeyed story about 13 bodies got around? Now he's starting up a yellow fever scare? Cute, ain't it?
13 bodies in the cellar. Who would believe that one?
You just don't know. Some people are just dumb enough. You don't know what to believe sometimes. About a year ago, a crazy guy starts up a murder rumor over in Greenpoint. I had to dig up a half-acre lot just to prove that.
Excuse me?
Good morning, darling. This is Mr. Witherspoon. He's come to meet Ted.
Mr. Witherspoon?
Mr. Witherspoon is Mr. Happydale.
Oh, come right in, Mr. Witherspoon. This is Captain...
Lieutenant Rooney. Good to see you, Super. You're taking him back with you today.
Today? I didn't know that.
Not today.
Darling, I have some business to attend to. Would you mind running home?
Not.
I had no idea it was this immediate.
Papers are all signed. He's going today. There's your man, Super.
Wait a minute. Mr. President, I have some good news for you. The term of office is over. Is this not the poll? Practically. Let's see. Oh, yes. No, I got my brother to Africa. Well, I must decide immediately.
Is he trying to move into the White House before I've moved out?
Who?
Taft!
This is not Mr. Taft. This is Mr. Witherspoon. He'll be your guide to Africa.
Oh, bully. Bully, I'll just go and get my equipment. And when the bar comes, tell them to wait. Goodbye, Aunt Abby. Goodbye, Aunt Martha. I'm off to Africa. Isn't it wonderful? Charge!
Good morning, darlings.
We have visitors.
Yes, this is Lieutenant Rooney.
How do you do, Lieutenant? My, you don't look like the fuss budget the other policemen say you are.
Lieutenant is here because, well, you know Teddy blew his bugle again last night.
Oh, yes, we've been meaning to speak to Teddy about that.
It's a little more serious than that, Miss Brewster.
And this is Mr. Witherspoon.
Oh, Mr. Witherspoon, how do you do?
Yes, you've come to meet Teddy.
No, he's come to take him.
Oh, no!
Oh, no, not while we're alive.
I'm sorry, ladies, but this has to be done. Papers are all signed, and he's going along with the superintendent.
We won't permit it. We promised to take the bugle away from him.
Yes, we won't be separated from Teddy.
I'm sorry, ladies, but the law's the law. He's committed himself, and he's got to go.
Well, if he's going, then we are going too.
Yes, Mr. Witherspoon, if there was some way you could let us go to Happydale and live with Teddy, we be sure that it was in our will and for a very generous amount.
Well, the Lord knows you could use the money, but I'm afraid...
Now, let's be sensible about this, ladies. For instance, here I am wasting my morning away when I've got serious work to do. You do know that there's still murders to be solved in Brooklyn.
Yes. Oh, are there?
It ain't only this bugle blowing and all the neighbors afraid of him. Can you imagine what would happen? Things could just get worse. Sooner or later, we'd have to go into the trouble of digging up your cellar.
Our cellar?
Yes, your nephew's been telling around that there are 13 bodies buried in your cellar.
Oh, but there are 13 bodies buried in our cellar.
Yes, and if you think that's why Teddy has to leave, why, just come downstairs and we'll show it to you.
Yes, there's one, Mr. Spinoza, who doesn't belong there and who will have to leave. But the other 12 are gentlemen.
I don't think the lieutenant here wants to go down in the cellar. He was telling me that just last year, he'd dig up an entire half-acre lot, weren't you?
That's right.
Well, you won't have to dig. The graves are all marked. We put flowers on them every Sunday.
Flowers? Superintendent, you think you can find room for these ladies?
Well,